agree with him in his own mind. I mean, that's coming out of his mind. But in all honesty, buddy, and buddy to him, not to you, nah, not quite. I mean, I understand that they won the Super Bowl and he had, the 2,000 yards and he was getting ready to break the record and all of those sort of things. So they set him down. Um, but no. They're not one of the top 5 teams in the history of the National Football League, let alone the Miami. That's the Miami Dolphins undefeated, right? So you got to clearly say that they are the number 1 team ever in the history of the league because they're the only ones that go wire from wire and do it all. But then when you just start breaking down the 85 Bears and then Pittsburgh Steelers of the 70s, and then you come into this era of when I was playing and you start looking at the Baltimore Ravens, the Dallas Cowboys, the San Francisco 49ers, and Lord, please, don't tell me about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And
Oh my God.
7 yards against our defense.
I'm really sick and tired of mainstream media and the bullshit that accompanies with it. Keyshawn is 100% wrong because what you have to take into consideration, right? You're thinking about what Keyshawn's argument was when he's comparing the 85 Bears, you're comparing the San Francisco 49ers, right? You can't just look at the accomplishments by itself. You also have to look at the construction of the roster, right? When you think about the construction of the roster last year when we won the Super Bowl, right? You have to think about, oh shit, Jalen Hurts. Is Jalen Hurts, like when he started comparing things like the 85 Bears, for example, right? Jalen Hurts is 100% a better player than motherfucking Jim McMahon. Let's be honest. They decided to throw your 0-2 bus, which I knew that was coming. By the way, newsflash. I'm pretty damn sure it's not too goddamn easy to beat up on a motherfucking team when if y'all remember, one of their best players who was a center had a situation going on that was low-key controversial. I don't remember exactly what the details are. If y'all do, let me know in the comments. But he had a situation. So literally their center, you got to remember this, right? The Buccaneers, they had Anthony McFarland and Warren Sapp in the middle. You're going to need a center to be able to block those guys. So if you're going to have your Pro Bowl center, your All-Pro center, that makes a huge difference. Consider the fact that Rich Gannon was a 3-step drop quarterback. That's very important. Not to mention, didn't John Gruden previously coach the team that y'all beat, the Oakland Raiders? So how hard is it to beat a guy where you got 2 guys at the middle that are Pro Bowl caliber players, you got a defensive line without their star center, and a team that he's already familiar with? I mean, really, how hard really was that Super Bowl? And please don't sit up here and tell me that motherfucking Brad Johnson was better than goddamn Jalen Hurts. Stop it. None of the running backs, okay, you're going to say Walter Payton, which we'll see what Saquon does down the line, but I don't think the margin as far as talent is concerned is that wide, right? Saquon got to get a little bit more production as far as the numbers are concerned. When we're talking about pure talent, it's not really much that separates Walter Payton from Saquon Barkley. I'm sorry. And then, okay, let's go over to back to the Bucs, right? Was any of the running backs, Michael Pittman, was better than Saquon Barkley? I mean, like, who the hell are we kidding, right? And is Terry Bradshaw definitively a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts? I mean, like, come on. And please don't get me started on motherfucking receivers, Keyshawn, because I know you damn well know that you damn sure ain't better than Devontae Smith and you're not better than A.J. Brown. Hell, if we want to even compare you to a tight end, you're not better than Dallas Goedert. So let's just cut the bullshit there. The other guy on the other side of you, I think Mick Cardell or something, he's not better. Jared Vicious was a good player. I guess it's somewhat comparable to Jahan Dotson. I guess. Right? You look at the receiving core for the Bears. I don't remember who the fuck was on that goddamn team, right? You're looking for the receiving core for Pittsburgh, right? Lynn Swann was good. I don't know if he was 88 or 82. I forgot what the other guys were. But yeah, 2 good guys. But like top to bottom, you're going to tell me their tight end was better than fucking Dallas Goedert? You're going to tell me their second tight end was better than Grant Calcaterra? I'm talking about receiving. Now, granted, we know Grant Calcaterra needs some more development with the blocking. But don't sit up here and goddamn tell me they second stringer. Let's just go over the whole. You tell me they second string tight end is definitively better than motherfucking Grant Calcaterra in the receiving category. I don't know about all that, right? And how many of the third wide receivers on those teams that you just mentioned were even better than Jahan Dotson? Again, the only thing that person that was comparable would I would say Joe Jurevicius. Other than that, that's pretty much it. And then you go on the defensive side of the ball. Well, Simeon Rice is better than Josh Sweat. Okay, I'll give you that one. McFarland, maybe better than Jordan Davis, maybe better than Milton. I don't know. I feel like that's debatable within itself to an extent, right? Warren Sapp and Jalen Carter, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of too early to try to pit those two against each other, so I'm going to table that conversation, right? But you have a point about the defensive line. Linebackers, Derrick Brooks, Hall of Famer. Zach Bond was the best defensive player in the league. I don't think Derrick Brooks that year. Again, not taking anything away from that. I like Derrick Brooks. I think he's underrated and needs to be more and more NFL conversations. But I'm not entirely certain. I don't necessarily want to say that he in that year was significantly better than Zach Bond last year. I'm not, no. Right, and they had some other guys who don't remember. Rondé Barber, Quinyon Mitchell, I guess that's comparable. You could even say Rondé Barber that year was better than Quinyon Mitchell, whatever. Even though he didn't really face the same amount of like competitive wide receivers, especially in the road to the playoff that Quinyon had to face. But that's a different conversation. We'll table that conversation for a different day, right? And then let's talk about safeties. John Lynch, hard hitter, pretty good. You know what? Safeties wise, okay, Keisha, I'll give you the safeties with freaking John Lynch. You got the safeties, right? They got good depth with the corners. So out of all the teams you just mentioned, the Pittsburgh dynasty, you talking about the 85 Bears, was any of their nickels definitively better than Cooper DeJean? I'll wait. You can't just look at accomplishments. You have to look at the team top to bottom, right? Offensive line, okay, it's comparable, right? I think our offensive line was better than the 85 Bears, to be straight up and honest with you, right? And then offensive lineman for the 49ers comparable. We are way better offensive line than the goddamn than a freaking 02 Bucks. Let's just throw that out there right now. Dickerson, Mulata, Cam Jurgens are on Hall of Fame trajectories right now. And I might be missing a person, but and also Makai was playing at an all-pro level. And we had Steve backing him up, who was actually pretty damn good. Isn't perfect. We know he needs to develop, but he's pretty damn good. He's like, listen, when he came in, he held his own, right? So, and also the offensive line depth in totality, you want to tell me that they got better depth than us? We got the best offensive line coach in NFL history. What are we talking about? So, top to bottom, you're going to compare the receivers and all of that. Like, it's very much, we're very much, at least in a conversation, to literally dispute that. And just look at one side. You're clearly biased. That's why you put the 02 Bucks in there, which I expected that. And two, you're literally looking at things from one category. The one category you're looking at is accomplishments and name value, right? But if you think about it like this, if I were to pit this, if I say, 85 Bears are facing the Philadelphia Eagles, or I would say, I'm just keeping it real with you. Like, at the very least, the 1-2 punch for your receivers, they're not better. Again, Jerry Rice is goated. They're not. If we do the 1-2, they're not better than AJ and Devontae Smith. So, like, what the hell are we talking about here? Like seriously. But yeah, honestly, I'm sick of disrespect at this point. I don't even tune into mainstream media anymore because it's just no point. People just be talking out their ass and just saying hot takes just for the sake of it, man. But I'm out of here. That's all I got to say about that. Peace.